So good evening. So today we will see about lists and dictionary comprehensions. So this is one of the important topic in Python. So as of now, we are using for loops to iterate over the list and do some operations. Uh, so comprehensions is nothing but instead of using for loops, we can directly uh, write that uh, functionality in a single line, uh, creating another list. So instead of using for loops, uh, we will be using for loop, but it's not uh, in the sense of using it like iterating over each element and applying that each element any formula we need, like for example the squaring of numbers in a list. So that we won't be doing that. So we will be writing a single line uh, kind of a syntax which is called comprehension. So how it will be, let's see. Like, so it's like a conscious way to create lists based on existing iterables like list tuples. So this can be used on different types of iterable data types. For example, tuples strings is a list of characters. So on tuples we know these are immutable lists. So it's like for example, this is the new list and the expression. This is the syntax where expression we will be writing the expression and we will be applying for each item in the iterable, and if condition is like if any condition we need to give, we will be giving that. So it's like let's see if we go to the demo for example. So we are taking numbers as a list. So now we are having five numbers 1 2 3 4. So now if we want to, just a minute. So if you want to write the same thing to apply the square for every number, so without using list comprehensions, how we will be doing is we will be defining one empty list, and then we will be looping over each item in the numbers list. So for number in, and then we are applying square number equal to number into number, and then we are doing square numbers dot append. So we are appending that list. So it's like we are writing 1 2 3 4, like 4 lines of code, and we are just printing once the for loop ends, we are printing that. So the same thing we can achieve using the list comprehension. So it's like the new list what we want to create, and then the expression. So what is the expression? This exponential 2 like n to the power of 2, and then the same thing, like we are actually writing this for loop outside and we are iterating. Instead of that, what we are doing, we are giving the expression and we are iterating the same, like n in numbers list, and it will automatically apply for all the numbers inside the list. So, so now when we run this program, commenting this out before, so the output will be same like for both. So even without using the list comprehension, with using the list comprehension, we are printing both squared numbers list. So we are getting the both. So similarly, there will multiple examples. For example, this is again for x in the range of x So it's like from range 1 to 10, we need to get all the squares of the numbers. So it's like we are giving the expression x to the power of 2 for x in range of, we are defining from 1 to 11. So it's like 1 to n minus 1 it will iterate. So yeah, the range function we have already used. So similarly kind of stuff, if you want to create a list of even numbers from the list, we will be doing the for for number in numbers, and we are actually applying the condition like here in the syntax. The condition is optionally filtered to specific items. So here we are giving if number is divided by 2 is equal to 0, we will get all the even numbers. Similarly, we are applying upper for all the letters like string. So this is a string. So inside string everything is a character. So it's a list of characters. So that's why we are actually looping over word in phrase dot split. Split is nothing but it will delete the end and tailing spaces, the starting and tailing spaces. Now, if I go back, so it's like the similar thing what we have seen here. So now, for example, this, let's see one by one. So all these are list comprehension examples. So it's like list comprehension, the same thing for loop, and in string as a list. So when we are doing for each element, so it will be, so here giving we are just if short names less than or characters are less than 5, and so just to check what exactly it is, so we are printing. So before going to dictionary comprehensions, let's see, let's stop this one. So it's like if you see one by one, so as of now I'm not printing this list comprehension, so by adding incrementing 1 to all the digits, so just we are printing from this, so the letters list. So for every character it is splitted into uh, each and every uh, character. So Kishore is split into Kishore. So string is split into different characters. Similarly in the range, So it's like n into 2 like for everything like sorry, just so it is like 1 to 4 like it's like 1 into 2 to 2 into 2 4 uh, something. So it's like again in the range list we are actually multiplying all the list with 2. So similarly when it is like less than 4 like less than 5 then we are getting that name, and if any name greater than 4 less than 5 we are getting greater than, we are actually uh, doing all that lists to uppercase. So that's why it's like all these names having 4 letters greater than, so that's why all these uh, lists are went into like uppercase. So it's like instead of writing for loop and then applying the expressions, so we can directly write the expression in the same inside the list like square brackets, or in if it is dictionary we can write the similar syntax inside the flower brackets. So it will be evaluated at the time of compilation like interpretation in Python. So generally this type of comprehensions won't be available in different another languages. For example, uh, Java might not be providing, but maybe latest version they should have. So yeah, there will be different use cases. Instead of writing for loop for everything, we can just write this list comprehension syntax so that it will be applied for every element inside the list what we are trying to achieve. So the similar thing. Now the if we check about dictionaries, so it's like again the type of syntax will be similar. So it's like the brackets changes from square brackets to it will change to flower brackets. So whenever we define a dictionary, it is the same syntax. Generally, if we define a empty dictionary also, it's like we should give flower brackets, and then the expression a colon a value expression for each item interval if and if condition like. So new dictionary is the new dictionary name and plus the comprehension to create a dictionary. So expression for the key often derived from the item. So it's like this is the main thing. So generally when we iterate over another list, so we will be giving the key is often derived from the item they are saying. So when we iterate uh, loop, so the key will be maximum of the time this is the key. So expression will be again it's different like we will be evaluating the, because it's a key value pair, the value of the expression might be different. So depending on the requirement we will be coding that. So for items a triple, and if condition is again the to filter the items. So again this is like for example we have seen like a word length of word for word in phrase dot split. So it's like we will be storing like name and the word. So let's go to back. So for example, here we have three names: Alice, Bob, and Charlie. Now we want to store in a dictionary how many letters are there in these words. And it's like Alice will be having 5 letters, Bob will be having 3 letters, and Charlie will be having 7 letters. So when I uncomment this, now the length is, so we are defining empty dictionary, and then we are looping over for name and names, length of name is the key what we will be looping over, and we are actually giving length of name, so how many characters are there inside each string. So and we are printing length. So similar kind of stuff we will be doing here. So now what we did, we have taken the key, so keyword, so the main key value, the value will be length of the keyword, and the same thing we are doing for keyword in names. So and we are just printing the length. So here every time what it will do internally, the execution will be similar kind of this stuff, but we are actually comprehensing it to in a one line. So keyword, so when we print the length, so it will be the same thing, the output will be similar kind of stuff. Yeah. So if you see without comprehension also the same output, and with comprehension also we are getting the same output. Now even if you see another now what we are doing, we are actually importing a random module, and then we are actually giving student grades, and then we are actually defining for name. So it's using a dictionary comprehension. So again, so it's like name, and from for the name we are actually giving a random of integers. So this is the value. So it can be anything from 1 to 100 for name in names. So here the we have names. So we are actually having print when we printed that. So every name will have some sort of grade. Like for example, Divya will be having something around 1 to 100. Vasu, Dharmik, Geetu, similar kind of stuff we are doing. So again we are creating another dictionary. So here what we are doing, we are actually student grade. We are creating another dictionary using key value. So for we are iterating now. If you carefully observe, as of now we haven't iterated our dictionaries, but we are iterating over the dictionary inside another dictionary. So it's like, so for student grade, if student dot grade dot items, so it's like items is the call. So to call both key value pairs, this is the function we will be using. If we haven't give this items function, it will actually call only the key. So I think when we are learning dictionaries, we have already seen this. So and then we are giving, if grade is greater than 60, then we are passing all the students. So when we run this, let's see how it uh, so now if you check, Divya is 98, Vasu 54, Dharmik 11, Geeta 27. So similar kind of so we have only one pass student because we have given grade is greater than 60. Now if we rerun again, all this will be random, right? So all this will change again. So here there is no one passed, so it's like empty list. Now it's like Dharmik. So now we have both. So it's like in one line we can iterate over both lists and dictionaries. So this is like the comprehensions about dictionaries. So yeah, instead of writing dictionaries in for loop or iterating or for doing some kind of operations, uh, it's better to use comprehensions instead of writing normal for loops. But again, there will be multiple things. Yeah. So yeah. So if you see there are points to remember, so comprehensions are often more concise. So actually they can improve performance also in some cases instead of iterating over all the for loops. And it's like use them for filter transformations, and so as of now we have did filtering and did some transformations like squaring of numbers. We- but we need to avoid like overly complex comprehensions. So for example, we need to uh, do multiple iterations, like instead of doing, so if we write this one thing in similar comprehension style, so it's like if you want, if we need to iterate over multiple, maybe 3 to 4 or 4 to 5 for loops inside one another. So at that time it's better to avoid comprehensions, but generally that will be a rare scenario. Only it will be a dict of dicts, or there will be multiple data structures when uh, it's like when to say data structures will be different type of data structures where it will be dict of dicts or dict of lists. So there will be very complex data structures. At that time, it's better to avoid complex comprehensions. Now, let's come to a small exercise. So it's like we have two files, like one file.1, they each contain a bunch of, create a list called result, which contains a number that are common in both the files. So, example, file 1 contains 1, 2, 3, and file 2 contains 2, 3, 4. The result should be 2, comma 3. So because it's like 2 and 3 are the common, so on the output should be integers and not strings. Try to use compression instead of loop. So this is the thing. So we have two files. So now we have file 1, file 3, 5, 3, 6, 5, 8, 3, double 2. Something, so we're having some numbers, and similarly we have file 2 with some numbers. So we need to get the common elements out of this. So how we will be doing? We have some more hints. Okay, so now we need like keyword method for starting the list compression, fill in the relevant points. Okay, so keyword is like in keyword. Okay, first we need to read the files and we need to create a list using the files. The method will be really useful, like they have given this link. So let's see what exactly this link will be. It's like read lines. So whenever we have some file, we will be using the same thing like read lines. We'll return all the things whatever inside. So it read one by one and it will actually store it in a list. So here it has uh, read the lines and it has stored it in a list. Similarly, what we will do is like we will be reading the same. So generally we will use with open. We'll create a Python file as a fun. Just I am typing list one equal to fun fun dot read. So what I am doing now, just I am reading the file. The code mode. Yeah, let's see whether if it is give error or not. So I am taking with because we are opening with keywords, so we don't worry of closing the file again. So as if now I am storing that all the read lines. So because I am using the read lines, it will actually return me a list, and I am storing that list in a one variable called list. So print list one. Let's see. Okay, sorry. Let's see whether we need to give with quotes or without quotes. Forgot. Yeah. So with even if we haven't given R also, it will open in read mode. But if you want to write, then we need to open in. We need to give the mode. Okay, it is referring to this location, but we need to go to this location. So instead of that, what I control shift, like holding shift and one clicking right click on mouse I will be getting the total path. So if you see here, this is R, we have already talked about, because it is converting the Unicode characters, because it has started with a number. So generally, we the folder name should not start with the number. If we start with number, we have to use the colon. But when we are converting uh, using in Python, we need to give the R or depend. Otherwise, it will convert to some other symbol. So, so now if you see, okay, because everything is slash n, because new line will be there. So that's why when we are reading the lines, it will actually going to uh, like slash n is getting added. But the similar kind of stuff we will be doing with the other thing also before going to the final output. So now what we will do, I will be doing file2.txt and giving f2, f2 read lines. Now again, what I am doing, print list. So here we have read all the elements inside the list in a list. So now the next step is like to check if the so we need to use the in keyword to check whether element in the list is present in the uh, next list or not. So for example, so it's like if banana in fruits is there or not. So we are checking with using the condition like conditioning. But what we need to do, so it's like the final, we need to store it in a result list. So what we can do is a result equal to, now because it should be a list, defining a empty list. Now we will be writing this one like the comprehension. So it's like, let's write number because it's both are numbers. So this is the expression, we just want a number, but from where we want, for or number in. So here it's a little bit tricky here. What? So we need to check if this element is in list. So list one element is in list two or not. So it's like if so let's come from right to left. So if so here something is missing. So this is the correct. So if we are checking if list one of number in list two of number. So uh, and but uh, we are checking in strings, but what exactly they will be needing is, so it should be integers, not strings. So what we will be doing is just int of number. So here I want to just, let's see how this is working or fine or not. So it's like it's saying invalid syntax. What if I give, but there should be, this is the main issue. Let's see. So little bit confusing. So it's like for number in list 1. Okay. So instead of we are giving this number in list 2. So it's like okay, now what we are doing for number in list 1. So we are iterating first over the first list, and then we are using the same number if it is there in list 2 or not, we are checking. So instead of so yeah, I forgot that is index accessor what I have given before. So instead of doing that, we are just trying to get the elements directly using the for loop. So that's why it's the syntax is not correct. So if we remove this integer, so because the about to are again, if read lines, the output will be strings. So that's why if we run this code, okay, sorry, we are not printing. So here again, it's like a string. So strings are represented with quotes. So that's why we are saying this. So all this. So instead of, but we want it to an integer. So we are explicitly converting. So now it is converted to number. So we have got what are the common numbers in the both files. So yeah. So this is little bit tricky. So just what we are doing as of now, if we forgot this up to this step, so now just we are iterating var list 1. So it's like if we just run this code, so it's like just we are just converting all the numbers in list 1 to integers, and we are just printing it out. But we have a condition. The condition expression is if number in list 2. So it's like we are accessing directly the numbers instead of giving the indexes, so like a list of number. So when we are iterating in this comprehensions, we are directly accessing the values in the list. So that's why we are giving this number just in the list 2 or not. We are checking if it is the 2, then only we are actually printing it up. Yeah, I think that's it. So we have achieved our just comprehensions. So it's like they have given already the init method to convert a string to an integer. So the main thing, just we need to very careful when we are writing the comprehensions. Uh, so it is little bit tricky at the first. If we, with practice we will be able to achieve. That's it for today.